Shut up and sit down.
Well, hello, Internet. Welcome to Epic Fail, episode 163, man. My name is there. I'm just going to be Draven. I was going to try to be Bronswamdi, or however you say his name, but apparently I can't say it, so go me, I guess. Anyway, with me this week, we've got returning Galv. Hi, Galv.
Woohoo! Hello! Thank you for welcoming me back in such a gracious and large introduction.
You should be used to it by now. How you doing?
Good. No, I had a great day so far. Just telling Fraz and Jan it's time to crash and burn.
No, that'll be us.
Yeah, don't you like the headset? This is a Kraken. It's a nice one. I've got a really fancy one too, but this one holds its volume level steadier for podcasts. I'm responding to chat. I know.
Yeah, no,
we
you're
should
fine.
be having a dialogue, but they're talking so nicely to us.
Yeah, you're good. It's fine. Oh.
Yeah, man. I had a great weekend so far, and been getting a lot of stuff done this week. We'll talk about some more. I've been almost entirely World of Warcraft and some Overcooked on the Switch because that's fun too. How about you? How are you doing, Draven?
I'm doing as good as can be expected, I suppose. Just like you, pretty much game-wise, almost all World of Warcraft. To the point where, okay, I will admit, I have an advantage being a human in game.
Faction.
10% rep.
Right.
I got not only Pathfinder done.
Wow.
Which means my mount speed is now 20% faster. I've been doing a lot of world quests, like every reset. Just doing all of them. So not only do I have the 20% mount speed, but I also unlocked the Dark Iron Dwarves.
Congratulations.
Yep. So of course...
Have you made one yet?
Yes, I made one. It is a hunter, because I only have one of those so far, and I thought it didn't really make sense thematically to make one like that, but at the same time, I wanted to see what the pet would look like, and it's a little fire dog.
Fantastic.
So,
God, I want to do that now.
Yeah, so there's that.
I can definitely recommend playing Huntard.
I'm not really planning on taking it too seriously, which kind of goes with being a Huntard. But, I unlocked the mount. I got to ride around it over in Borealis a little bit and showed it off. People were like, how did you unlock that so fast? I was like, human and a lot of world quests. So, yeah, there's that. Other than that, we'll talk about it later. I did play a little bit of Overwatch this week.
Nice.
Literally enough to unlock what we'll talk about.
Yep.
And
Copy that.
Yeah. And then, other than that, it's been mostly just grinding world quests. I did start leveling... I did continue leveling my Demon Hunter, which is Horde, because I wanted to see that side of the story too.
I completely understand it. It's on my agenda.
Level 118 at the moment. It'll be my second 120, which will actually be the first time this quickly I've leveled an alt. But because there's different stories that aren't like class specific, like Legion had, you had your Order Hall, which had a story specific for your class. This is just faction specific stuff, so
Gotcha.
I thought just go ahead and do that. Probably not going to raid on it, but maybe some LFR. I might join a couple pugs here and there. But
that's what it's there for.
Yep.
So
Just
you and a
to see
bunch of randos can experience all the top-end content and never have to speak to each other again.
Yeah, I don't want to be one of those neckbeards that have no life. For those of you who don't know, we'll talk about that momentarily.
Yeah, we'll get there too.
Yeah.
Stacking the references early tonight.
Yeah, stacking the early references. And thank you, Alessander, in chat. That reminded me. That's one thing I did not put in the show notes that should have been there.
We will cover that.
We are going to.
That.
It was something on my mind, but I just forgot to put it in the notes.
Although Iron Fist Season 2 is coming out as well, but I think this one's a little more topically relevant.
I'd rather watch Jessica Jones Season 2.
Right? I'd rather watch Jessica Jones Season 1. But
I've
maybe
got that
they'll get
right
Iron
over
Fist
there.
Season 2. Dude, that's epic. I have to say, who's the guy I'm trying to think of? The actor who played the bad guy. He's
David
awesome. Tennant. Yeah, David Tennant. Phenomenal performance in that miniseries. I always get disappointed when performances like that aren't recognized with some sort of formal award.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, anything David Tennant is in tends to be at least entertaining, if not really good.
Right.
Very few exceptions, like that one movie set in Las Vegas, or so, I don't know, it was like a vampire movie. I did not care for it, even though he was in it. His part was good, but the rest of the movie was garbage.
Yeah, you can't look unless that's your profession. You've got a giant truck. You can't carry the garbage.
So, anyway, we'll
just
go ahead and move on into the actual show. Now we got that out of the way. First up, it's Blizzard. We have to talk about something Blizzard related. So we're gonna go over to PAX because that's always Blizzard. Wait, no, is that right? Oh, I know why. We're Ian Hazakostas was over there doing the keynote story, like the behind the scenes, his story of his life, how he got to Blizzard and all that. It's actually
13 hours long.
Well, he was only there for like an hour and a half. It was actually fairly entertaining, despite it just being, here's a story of my life kind of thing.
Did he have lore, like narrate the whole thing?
That would have been amazing, but no.
That would have been, that's the setup they needed.
No, it was just him going back through saying, I didn't catch the very start of it. I caught it just after, like, 5 minutes in or something like that. And he was already like, so how does a lawyer go to be working at Blizzard? Well, here's how. And he went through and he, went through some stuff and all that. If you haven't checked it out, I suggest you do. It's an hour and a half long. It's not that bad. If you've got the time.
In the Discord chat.
Yes, we will put it in Discord, and then we will put it in the show notes, so when you watch this later, you will see it. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but, it happens.
That sounds almost, almost like a tiny, tiny version of Smeagol without the creepiness. That
was not even close to Smeagol. That was just more of my voice decided to go somewhere, and then I just went with it because that's what I do.
Fair enough. There's still people here, so we can continue.
Yep. Moving on. Something Galv brought up that I hadn't seen. So, yay, Galv.
Well, I try to pay attention. So, if you haven't gotten your Christmas shopping done for your loved ones or yourself, if you love yourself, and many of you love yourself, we know, the Blizzard fall line of clothing is now available, and you can check it out in the Blizzard Store, including Hearthstone gear and World of Warcraft gear and Overwatch gear. So the new clothing line is out for you and your loved one, your baby. So check that out. That could be fun to find something, and I'm sure if they're smart, they'll have everything in sizes available up to XXL.
Generally, clothing-wise, yeah. They have it up to from like 2XS to 3XL is usually what they have. But
that's because they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Not only do they want to sell these things, but they know their audience. It's wide range.
Exactly.
And that's more accurate in some cases more than others.
Exactly.
I mean, they got to sell to these neckbeards that have no life. So
let's see if there's anything, any other miscellanea blizzardness.
In terms of Blizzard miscellaneous, I mean, we don't hardly ever talk about Diablo, but there are some rumors about Diablo going around right now. Chat brought it up as we were doing our little intro spiel at the beginning.
Absolutely correct, chat.
Possible Netflix series with Diablo, which
what would they do?
If it's in the style of the Castlevania thing that Netflix did, which I have not seen because I don't have Netflix because I live out in the middle of nowhere, and that has nothing to do with it. I just don't have Netflix because I don't use it. This is something I might actually get Netflix for. I mean, there's stuff on Netflix I would like to see. But
so the Castlevania series was done in a anime style, and it had some interesting pieces. I never got fully into it because there was honestly a bunch of other stuff to watch, and I ran out of time. I saw the first episode or two. I'll give you kind of a theme. Dracula's being, harassed by the villagers, and this one girl who's an alchemist is being burned as a witch, but she escapes to Dracula's castle and understudies with him. The villagers kill him. Cut to the mayhem. He actually was starting to like her, and then the scene is set for Dracula versus the village, and hijinks ensue. That kind of stuff.
So typical, like a Castlevania game set to an anime background.
Yeah. So I could see how the Diablo, the world would be crafted. It makes sense to do it in the anime format. What does not make sense is what the hell storyline are they going to run? I mean,
my understanding would be, I mean, again, it's just a rumor what they're doing, but they're going to go with the original Diablo 1. Basic thing there. They're obviously not going to go just as the game did and all that. There's going to be actual story. So there will be embellishments, and I think that's where the negotiations are going to either fail or succeed, is what embellishments do they get. Like, Tristram as a town is going to be this little rinky-dink town. It's going to have a couple things. You're going to have wandering adventures, come through. Oh, you have something bad in your cathedral over there. Let's go over there. And then you go down, and they, eventually they find Diablo at the bottom. But
spoiler.
Well, I'm assuming Diablo 1 is like 15 years old.
I know.
Or more.
I'm teasing.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah, I know.
You know it.
But it'll be fun. What I'm really hoping
potential.
Yeah, it has great potential, but what I'm really hoping for is just one mention during the entire series at the blacksmith shop. And I forget what his name is. But there's a blacksmith in the first game, and there's one in the second one too. But in the first game, there's one, and there's one set of armor in all the game that is not supposed to exist. But I found one. I might be the only person that had a real version of it, I don't know. But it was Godly Plate of the Whale. I just want one mention, like a set of armor up on the wall, and it's labeled Godly Plate of the Whale, and it just has a 1 with a ton of zeros behind it for a cost. Because it's not supposed to exist. That's the one thing I would ask for, just for a little nod outside of the actual, Deckard Cain, Wirt, the guy with the peg leg, that kind of thing.
So what I would say about this is, like many other experiences, if they simply stick to a storyline everyone's already heard, I feel like it's not going to do as well as if they give even, like fans of Diablo, the series, like fans of the game, a new story that weaves into the existing lore to hang their hat on. So I feel if they just rehash Diablo 1 from a storytelling perspective, it's not going to do as well as if they can maybe tie in the main story with something new, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I mean it wouldn't be able to be the game and that's it. They'd have to actually add stuff to it.
Yeah,
but if they venture too far away from the actual story of the game. I think that's gonna part of what hurt Warcraft was it did venture too far away from the game
With the movie, you mean?
with the movie. Yeah. Which, I mean, a lot of those had to happen. I understand the reasons behind most of them. There's some things, bad acting, that weren't forgivable. But, you know, it is what it is. It's just one of those, keep the main story, embellish what you need to, but because different mediums.
Right.
Keep as much as you can. And then, you know, add more. You can add more drama. I fully expect it, since it's on Netflix, it's going to be, and it's an anime, it's going to be graphically violent, which it's Diablo. It had better freaking be.
Yes, especially in the anime format. It's not a you don't have to CGI with people or do a ton of special effects. Just anime the sucker up.
And actually, I just thought of something. Since we do have Diablo 1, 2, and 3, all the characters could be there, or at least playable classes that we could play as. You could do any of that. You could even use Diablo 3 as backstory, even though it happens later. Because you get all these other demons. You get and in the heavens and the angels and stuff like that. You could have them not necessarily conversing with each other, but you could even have the war between them.
Yep.
And
you could have
that.
You could have Diablo and Belial and Baal talking to each other.
Mephisto, who is in Heroes starting on Tuesday. But yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things they could do. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen yet, but a lot of people have been getting kind of excited about it, and I was like, that would be something I would watch. I'd watch it. I'd like to see a WoW one too, also, for that matter.
I frankly think that WoW's got more to offer.
Well, I think Diablo would be like putting your toes in the water. Like they tried WoW with a movie, which is what everyone always wanted, until they saw the movie, and then it was kind of some people loved it because of what it was, some people hated it because of what it was, and most people didn't bother watching it because of what it was.
So it's like, ask me how I liked World of Warcraft the movie.
No.
I'm just kidding. No, it was good, but most of the people were like, hated it. If you remember the bit from, was it In Living Color? Yeah.
Yes. I had to think about that for a second. And so that,
right?
I have seen that show.
Now me, I would give it, I liked it. That's another old bit. I'm dating myself now.
There's a joke there that is not PG-13, so I really can't make it. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on. I would love to see chat rooms bringing up an Overwatch anime. I would like to see Blizzard do it, just have it full on. They get a whole new division of people in charge of doing it. I don't want to take away from in-game stuff, but
you could totally do it as the actual Overwatch story. So it's all the backstory to the content. Yeah. I mean, that would be phenomenal. There's so much there that they can
put it out in instead of a movie. I think I would rather a series, a mini-series or something like that. Whether it's on Netflix or straight to YouTube.
Right.
Something, yeah.
Right, because there's so many things. There could be episodes featuring where Talon is actually plotting, where they're exploiting things to advance their power or wealth or whatnot, and other places where you can see where the Omnics are insidiously filtering their influence into the communities of robots. All that stuff. There's a ton of material there, and there's no way they could hash it all out in the game format the way it is without a one-player story mode. So bring on the anime.
I mean, we're getting the story outside of the game for the most part, so we're getting there. I would like to see half-hour long, because right now I think the longest we've gotten was 13 minutes, something like that, for one of the videos, cinematic things. And most of those have been great. They've all been really well done. I've liked some of them better than others, clearly, but I'd like to see a longer version of just more there. It doesn't even have to be the same character the whole way through. Multiple characters. That'd be, as long as it's not like Friends, the anime.
Friends, the anime.
That would be weird.
It's brutal. Brutally bad idea.
Yep. So with that, speaking of brutally bad ideas, I'm going to let Galp talk about Hearthstone for a few seconds.
Well, I'll keep it short. There's the third comic came out for Hearthstone, which looks like it's Dr. Boom, and it is Dr. Boom, your own worst enemy. Apparently, he creates a high-level boom bot which takes over his lab and kicks him out, and this is his attempt to get back in. It looks like it's pretty good. I'm not gonna spoil it for everyone, but it is. Take a look. It's funny pulp online comic. It's cool that they're doing that. Hearthstone's September 2018 ranked season started today, so August is over. A lot of people are checking their chests and seeing what loot they got for their ranked play. The Europe kicks off for the HTC Fall Playoffs, and they've got a couple of other things going on with like the Summer Well Played, where it was, good matches that happened over the summer that people get to sit and watch again. So yeah, that's pretty much it on the Hearthstone news.
Okay. That's pretty much about where I figured. New month, new season. I stopped paying attention to that last year at some point, I think. Maybe it was early this year. I don't remember. It's been a while. If you don't keep up on it.
Yeah, you got to keep up or...
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. So, we'll move on to... Alright, so we have information coming in from the chat room based for StarCraft. It's StarCraft. It's StarCraft news. Sorry, it's a spoiler for those 3 people that care. Alessandra being 2 of them. Maru just won the Asian Games for StarCraft, so Gret's there. He's one of the bigger names they got. That I know the names. Like I know some of the player names, but not many. It's kind of like Overwatch. I know some of the player names, but not many. So I used to know more of them when I was paying even more attention to it, because that was the first esport I actually watched almost religiously. And then it's just been one of those things where, over time, I've had less and less time to put into StarCraft, because one game can last anywhere between, I guess it could last 3 minutes, but it could last over an hour, and it's just, and then it's best of 5. It just, you don't have time for that all the time.
However, some of the stuff they do is phenomenally impressive.
Absolutely.
I have played, I would say this. I've played some real-time strategies at high level before. Like I used to do way once upon a time competitive, Age of Empires, but it's the Titans expansion. And to be able to do that for like 5 minutes even, you know what I mean? Like where you're just like snap, 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 you're already on the next move. And they're doing it, best of 3 for like an hour plus?
On average, a match, I believe, minus the exceptions with the cheeses where the match can only last for a couple minutes. A match usually lasts between 30 to 45 minutes per game, and it's best of 3, best of 5. The last, the finals are usually best of 7. So they got to do it for a long period of time. So yeah, while I've never gotten to do competitive games like that at that level, I know. The
impressiveness is real.
Yeah. If you're not someone who can do it and you don't take it seriously, then you're looking at that's not a big deal. And I'm like, okay, think of it this way. You got professional baseball players and basketball players and stuff like that.
So down to 15 minutes average. Is that because they already know at a certain point that someone is catastrophically ahead?
That's pretty much when they give up. Usually it doesn't go to down to the last unit. It's like, yeah, you beat me. I can't come back. But, so, sometimes 15 minutes depending on the two races going. But use the real sports, and you're looking at like, oh man, that guy's really good at the game. Well, it's the same kind of thing. It's a different skill set.
Yep.
But it's the same level of difference. Like if I was to go out and play baseball, basketball, whatever sport versus a pro, guess who's gonna win very easily? Here's a spoiler, not me. Now you take me,
fair enough,
and you put me in a match against a pro StarCraft player. Guess who's gonna win? Here's another spoiler. It ain't me. I can play against the AI in StarCraft. I'm terrible against people because I always like hitting up. I want a solid, I want a good solid defense, and that takes a while to build. And they're just like, yeah, guess what? We're just gonna walk through you.
at least you know which end of the marine rifle to point at the Zergs.
Well, yeah. Sometimes I like playing Zerg though. Yeah, it's just it's so much like there's mental games which are harder to do in physical sports. It's an actual part of the thing for esports. You go in and you do something goofy, and they're like, "Oh crap! Now we have to count for goofy stuff." You can't do that in like baseball, basketball. So there's no goofiness. I mean, there's some, I guess, but it's different.
It's not just Fimger speed. Yeah. Feints.
Yeah. Good job, Maru, on your win.
Yep.
I will definitely be checking out StarCraft whenever it comes to BlizzCon, along with pretty much all the other ones. So, all the other esports that are over there. Well,
fantastic. Is there anything in the Heroes of the Storm bucket that you have any info on?
Mephisto, we talked about last week. He's coming Tuesday to live, unless they push him back. Sergeant Hammer's in the meta, apparently, for the pros.
I did not see that. I mean, it's refreshing.
No, it's not. I don't want to see Sergeant Hammer in the pros.
Why?
Because she just sits there.
Is it just if there's just one more Sergeant Hammer bombarding me from range. I mean, it's like having Asmodan. Yeah, same idea. Just a bombard range player.
I don't want to see Sergeant Hammer, and I know why Sergeant Hammer's a thing now. It's because Chromie got nerfed. Hard.
That's a shame. I was actually doing really well on Chromie.
Yeah, so because now the reach on Chromie is nowhere near as good, Sergeant Hammer can get further forward, and it's just harder to deal with. That was the one time I was like, okay, they have a hammer, guess what? I'm going Chromie. Because they didn't ban it, because they're stupid. Like, thank you for the free shots. But
you know what, though? I like that feature about Chromie, because Chromie was really a paper tiger.
I mean, she did need nerfed a little bit. Complete transparency, she did need a little bit. The level that they got her, though, was, I think, too far, but that's Blizzard. They go from 15 to -4. There's no...
Overreach is their specialty.
Yeah. There's no, let's just do a tiny nerf. No, it's like, oh, they're too good. Ground. Crush. But, it is what it is. When the pros are always picking it, that's when you know that someone's going to get nerfed.
Right.
So speaking of nerfing things... Yes. That was completely off the cuff. Diva, we mentioned last week that she got a new cinematic, which we talked about with Theory. I haven't changed my mind on it. I don't think anyone else has either.
I thought it made a strong case for why it was a good cinematic. So.
Yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't a good cinematic. I'm just saying it wasn't one of the best ones. A little too after school special for me. But they decided to have this little, not a contest, but I guess a promotion would be the right word. I'm trying to think of another word for it. There's a few streamers out there. Seagull, former member of Dallas Fuel, because he quit again, is one of them. And there's a few other ones. While they're streaming Overwatch, you watch it, you can earn in-game stuff. Now, instead of earning boxes, you just earn sprays. And they're all Diva related. And it's like 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. That's how much you got to watch. And he's not the only one. There's a few others. So you watch some streams, you get some sprays. I think there's like 8 of them total because you get like 2 per 2 hours. It's not 1 per 1 hour. It's 2 hours.
They're pretty good, though.
2. Yeah, they're cool.
It reminds me a bit of Fallout 4, where you can get the different color Nuka Cola skinned mech suits.
Yeah, these are all Diva's Nano Cola.
Yes.
Yeah, Nano Cola. It's basically the in-game. She's the one who sponsored. You know, her face is all over it. It's that in the color scheme, pink and green. And that's not all they did. Not only if you watch it, but all you gotta do is play. 9 games. You have to win these games. Anything, not custom. You can go into arcade, win arcade games. You could play Lucio Ball 9 times. Guess what I did? Lucio Ball 9 times.
You played Lucio Ball 9 times.
Well, I played it 13 times, but I won 9.
You like your Lucio Ball.
I like. I like
Rocket
it.
League, Lucio
I'm good
Ball.
at it. Yeah. I'm not terrible at Lucio Ball, so yeah. But all you gotta do is win 9 games, not custom. You can go into quick match, you can go into competitive, arcade, whatever. As long as it's an actual game. I don't know if AI works.
They borrowed a page from Heroes of the Storm for this one, but that's not a bad thing.
No. And you get, I forget what you get for like 3 and 6. They're minor things. It's like sprays or player icons, little things. The big thing at the end is a skin for Diva, completely for free. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to like credits or nothing. It's the Nano Cola skin, which is the purple and pink and green colors. Yeah.
Yeah.
The bright colors, and it looks great. But I'm using the Shanghai Dragon skin, so I was like, I went ahead and switched. Not because of anything else. It was just more of it's a new skin. I'll use it, and when Overwatch League comes back, I'll probably put it back on Shanghai Dragons.
Flavor of the month type thing.
Yeah, it's a flavor of the month thing. It's like WoW Transmog. Every now and then I'll go ahead and switch it, but for the most part, I'm going to stick with my corrupted Ashbringer.
Wise decision.
Yeah.
Trial of Style coming up soon.
It's already going.
There you go.
And there's nothing.
That's not news here.
That's okay. We can move on into WoW because that's the last anyway. We got about half an hour of WoW stuff we can talk about.
Gotcha.
So you mentioned Trial of Style. Go do Trial of Style. Get your coins now. That way, whenever something new does come, you have plenty of coins then. Because there's nothing new this time. I understand the logic behind it, but I don't agree with it. I'm assuming the logic behind it is not everyone is leveled up. Let's not force them to, farm this extra thing while they're farming everything else.
Right.
And by level, I don't mean just player level. I'm talking like eye level and stuff like that. People are farming what they can to get high.
Right.
So let's not give them something
higher item level.
Yeah. So let's not go ahead and give them something extra. So we'll just give them this for, the people that like doing it. The good thing about it, whether there's new stuff or not, is it's free transmog for this week. So if you are leveling and you don't want to look like you just went through Outland.
What's wrong with Outland? God, you're such an expansionist.
The leveling gear, you look like a clown when you get to max level.
That's true.
So if you don't want to look like a clown and you want to have, an actual set, every time you get a new piece, if you have a transmog mount, which, a lot of people do at this point, pop that bad boy out, go ahead and free transmog. That way, whenever one of those cinematics pops up, you don't look silly in it. Because there's a lot of cinematics out there that you show up into.
Yes. That's actually one of my favorite parts about this expansion. And one of my favorite parts about Legion, taking screenshots during the cinematics.
Yeah, I had one. I was on a boat and they were riding around, and I was like, I'm surfing on the boat. Like my character is literally standing there looking like they're surfing, and I was like, but I couldn't get. Like I took away the UI and all that, but the pop up bubbles of them talking were still showing up, and I couldn't get one without them. I was just like,
I tried to get one in between. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, so free transmog week, guys. Go ahead and transmog away.
Quit.
Also, if you're in the market for WoW tokens, get them soon because they're just over 100k, which sounds weird considering when they first came out they were just at 20k. But they've gone down from like 250, 300k, so now's a good time to get them. I don't know how much lower they're going to get.
How low will they go?
I don't know, but I'm going to be as soon as we're done here, I'm going to be logging into my other servers. And be like, how many of these can I get? Because I don't want to dip too much into my mains account.
Well, you were sitting on a war chest of those a little while ago. How'd that turn out for you?
Oh, I've used all them. Like whenever they first came out, I got the whole. I had 12. I had a year plus going, and I've been buying them for I don't know 7 months now, something like that. But luckily, when I'm buying in bulk when there's a low price, so I haven't had to pay the 300k or whatever the high point was. I've always been able to get them low and have a couple months worth, and then they're still higher than I'd like, but because that's how I'm playing the game. That way I can save money where I can, because that's kind of needed right now. Because helping with family stuff is not cheap.
True that.
Ugh. So, speaking of helping people, I don't know how this helps people. Some people were crying, so maybe help them cry and get in touch with their feelings. The Warbringers series.
Oh yeah.
Say what you will about them, in particular the Sylvanas one that everyone raged over.
What? the Sylvanas one did spawn some of the best memes I've seen in a while.
Yeah. Burn It has been a fixture in a lot of things that I've replied to with people. Someone's like, there's a spider, and I just put that picture of her saying, burn it.
I like, you saw the one where the crying elf's like, so you gave up your advantage as a ranged marksman hunter to do a bare midriff power slide into melee range of a frost DK? And that's why we lost the war? Burn it!
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of...
There's another good one where it's a cut scene where she asks Anduin, is that your father's sword? And he replies, why, do you want to power slide into that too?
Yeah, I mean, people are creative, sometimes in a good way, like these. But then you got the Warbringers, the Sylvanas one had people raging for a while. I think that's calmed down a bit, but someone went out and made like posters, like big old street art posters of just their faces, with the exception of the Sylvanas. She's there in front of the tree, which is the iconic screenshot, but I guess they didn't want to paint her because they were one of the people that were upset. I don't know. But Ashara got a nice one. Jaina got a really cool one. And then you got Sylvanas looking up at the burning tree.
That's what she does.
Freely admitted, it does look cool. I would have liked to see, the street art of Sylvanas with her face.
Definitely. With that style, it would be really cool to see.
Yeah. So it was a pretty cool poster. We'll have links in the show notes.
They could have done a street art version of her in Banshee form, too.
That would be... Yeah, well, she didn't really do Banshee form in the Warbringers thing.
True that.
So...
Well, she sort of does. Remember when she first goes Banshee?
I don't really
it's right after she gets
stabbed. I know
by...
I know where you're talking. I don't really count that. That's kind of different. But yeah, and then chat room's bringing up something about BlizzCon coming up. They haven't announced it yet, but eventually they will have the BlizzCon digital package that we'll be able to buy. Guess who's? That's what I'm using my I'm literally going through for my other servers. Do I have 110,000 gold on this server or on this character? Buy a token, put it in BattleNet Balance. I'm going to use that for the BlizzCon thing because I can't go again. So,
me either.
Yeah.
Or me too.
Yeah. I just full disclosure here. I don't know if we're having a show that week or not. That's for both you and the chat room and the audience.
We'll have to. We'll if there is going to be a show, we'll talk it out. But
we'll know ahead of time. We'll know ahead of time. We just.
Do you want to go like Mystery Science Theater 3000 on a silenced version of the proceedings?
Well, we'll have to talk about it after the show or something. But
sure.
We'll cover the news of BlizzCon at some point, whether it's that week or the week after. We don't know yet.
Right. Maybe we'll do like a bonus episode afterwards or something. Extra bonusy.
Yeah. Or we could go full Neckbeard, have no jobs, and Cuddles, I swear we're not making fun of you.
No, it's not a Cuddles related.
No, it's not a Cuddles related Neckbeard whatsoever.
So you've hit the absolute pinnacle of parody ability when Blizzard picks up you spoofing them and puts it on their site, right?
Did Blizzard? I know Wowhead did, but I didn't know Blizzard did.
Or
I didn't see it.
Was it Wowhead?
Yeah, I saw Wowhead did it. So the guys that do the honest movie trailers. By the way, the Deadpool one is the best one ever because they actually got Ryan Reynolds to do it, and he's making fun of them instead. That's just my opinion.
Quality.
Yeah, it's great.
High quality.
Basically, it's a couple guys or a group of people or whatever get together, and one guy talks over a trailer about the movie, and they're making fun of all the things that are wrong with it, and they're not even. It's just. Trust me, if you haven't seen them, go look it up over on YouTube. Honest game trailers, honest movie trailers. They're funny.
This one was really good.
This one was good. It's about 6 minutes long, so it covers a lot of Warcraft stuff. But Warcraft did get it. Yeah, I mean, they're making fun of Illidan. They're making fun of Kung Fu Panda because, let's face it, that's what everyone goes to for Mists of Pandaria. Right. I mean, they're going through all the expansions and all that, and it's funny.
I will give the fanboy disclosure of saying, for those of you who did not know this, World of Warcraft had original art and characters for all of the Pandarans long before Kung Fu Panda ever got created as far as a movie goes. So they never stole that. They came up with their own original one first.
Preaching to the choir. I know. I'm just saying that's what a lot of people do.
That's my disclaimer for any viewers we may have.
Yeah.
That.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Yep.
But they're going through current content stuff, and it's funny. We've been making the Neckbeard joke all show because it was just one of those things that popped up, and it was funny.
Maybe that's what I need next instead of just having a theory mask. Get like a neckbeard.
If you want, I'm not going to say no.
Like I put on neckbeard just for those segments.
Yeah. So yeah, go check that out. It was fun. Up next, kind of the last thing for news in terms of actual news, and then we got something special coming up for after that.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, people were exploiting again.
Oh, Draven, tell me what happened to the people who were doing exploits again.
Well, as of the show, there's no report of any actual action being taken place. However, they did say they're going to. They're going to, and it was basically people who were it was a rep thing, basically. to get higher gear.
Well, a little bit of both, yeah.
Yeah, it was for gear and to get Pathfinder faster. Then, I mean, I got it quickly. Some people got it faster than me. That's fine. But there were people who got it way earlier than they should have. Like, Blizzard hadn't even turned on Dark Iron availability or Magheart Orc availability because it shouldn't have been possible. That's kind of how they figured out, oh, these people are exploiting. They're completing a quest, getting the rewards, but they figured out a way to not complete the quest and do it again. And again. And again. Yep. I don't know how they did it. I don't want to know how they did it, because I know me. I might be tempted to do it if I knew.
And it included gold. It included Azerite. It included items. And most notably, as you're saying, faction improvements.
Yeah, which then got you things like Dark Iron Dwarves or Magheart Orcs rep quicker, higher gear quicker. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I've done a lot of world quests. I am revered or exalted with everyone. I'm only exalted with one of them. I'm a human. I'm halfway, like Tortolan, I just hit revered last night. Everyone else, I'm about halfway through. 7th Legion, I hit exalted. There's no Paragon things coming in this expansion, which thank you. Because that just means it's less dailies I have to worry about doing. I mean, I'm still doing most of them, but if it's one that I'm like, no, that takes too long. Oh, good, it's 7th Legion. I don't have to do it.
It's one of those things that bothers me because it's not that much of a race. Blizzard's already got this thing on a timeline that you don't need to be ready until the starting line is basically the raid opening. Mythic Plus is opening. There's not a huge necessity to rush like that and cheat.
Getting rid of the rush entirely. Not worried about it. I'm just setting that point aside. Every expansion, we get word of someone exploiting something.
Right.
Sometimes it's even every raid patch. Like, who was it? There were some people who got locked out of Dragonsoul for 3 weeks because they were found exploiting some of the world first. And it wasn't necessarily an exploit. They were just it was a gear exploit.
They sabotaged someone else?
Yeah, there was a reason for it. I don't remember the exact details. I'd have to go back and look. But either way.
Yeah. I feel like it was a competitor or something like that. But
it was one of the world first guilds that they got a 3-week ban from Mythic. They couldn't run it. Why do people think they're not going to get caught at this?
Yeah, it's
I don't understand.
Dumb.
I just
especially something that's obvious.
The track record so far, Blizzard doesn't always act right away, but the track record so far is Blizzard is going to catch you. Okay, fine. Some of the bots for the farming mats, sometimes they have that, and it takes them a while to get to that, and you can make a lot of gold that way.
Yep.
I don't recommend doing it because you will get caught. Your account could get banned. And they do know if you have more than one account, they can ban multiple accounts of you. I have a friend who I tried talking out of doing it, and he did it anyway. And guess what? He can't play anymore. He has to start over.
Genius!
Yeah, I called him an idiot. But Blizzard they're going to catch you. Especially when it's something obvious like, oh, you got your rep all the way a week before everyone else. Oh, let's investigate that account because clearly something happened. Oh, they're doing this quest over. How are they doing over and okay? Well, they figured something out. Guess what? Goodbye.
So the ones that bother me, for example, though, are if you notice the exploit, accidentally do it once and then report it. I don't think those people have gotten in trouble, but
sometimes they have, but they always get. I think they've always gotten it reversed.
Yeah, or a lot
the
less.
Accidental ones. Like if I did something and I said, oh, I can do this quest over and over, something is obviously not right. I probably wouldn't notice it right away.
So right, because all I'm doing is I'm looking at the mini map, like what's out there that I can do. And it might take me 1 or 2 tries to realize.
Yeah, I could fully
just did this.
I could fully see myself. I just did it. Maybe it repopped again. I don't know. It might take 2 or 3 of them before. Oh crap! Obviously something is going wrong.
Right.
Bug report. And be like,
Yeah,
hey,
and
I just did this quest 2 or 3 times. I didn't realize. I just thought, because I usually go in, like, as soon as we're done here, I'm going to go do my world quest. Because guess what? They just repopped.
I have done a number of bug reports already this expansion. How about you? Have you done any?
Been lucky. I haven't seen, other than seeing some mobs in the ground, literally, like their heads popping out of the ground. That's it. And you can't target them.
We can see you still.
Yeah. You can't target them. They can't move, so they just evade bug. Other than that kind of thing, I haven't really seen any real bugs in the game so far. I've been really lucky.
So a couple of them are egregious typos in quest text, but the words aren't going to be caught by a spell checker because I'm trying to think of. I was doing a battle pet daily. If you do a battle pet quest, it counts towards your what do you call it? Cash, but it's emissary essentially. What the new emissary is, and the text was obviously mistyped, and so I did send that one in. I've seen some other ones where it's kind of like some of those fine details on smaller off the beaten path things. Nothing. Core quest that would be a feature of the game, but so I send those in when I see them.
Yeah, I will freely admit that up till now I've glanced at the quest text. Like I haven't gone and read the whole thing. I've glanced at it, I got the gist of it, and I went.
Right.
So my next, I fully admit, or I fully plan to level another several Alliance characters, another several Horde characters. My goal is probably 3 or 4 on each side. I don't know if I'm going to buy mid-expansion. I don't know if I'm going to have... I will have one of every class by the end of the expansion. Whether they're Horde or Alliance, I don't know. That's just what I do. So I'm glad we're not getting new classes, because that's an extra alt I got to do every expansion. But that's how I've been since Wrath. I've one of every class, max level. One of every race, probably not, because I tend to focus more on specific races, like undead, if possible.
That's kind of where I'm at. I have a shaman that I've leveled for healing invex, and I've got my hunter still for fire department. But I have been expressing my way through almost every text box, just getting like a flash glance and reading it in my mind as I'm snapping through to the next thing. But I figure when I get around to my DK, I'm probably going to stop and smell the roses a little bit.
Yeah.
Because so far what I've seen is pretty good, and I wish I had more time to enjoy it. But until I get both of these guys ready for raid, I'm kind of on the clock.
Yeah, I am doing a little more reading on my Demon Hunter, because it is Horde. I'm not really planning on raiding on it.
Sure.
So I can afford to take the extra time, because right now, if I'm not running a Mythic... Okay, so I'm 342 item level, which some people are higher, some people are lower, whatever.
That's pretty good.
It's acceptable. To the point where I felt it was okay that I could start working on an alt. I'm still having issues if it's not a raid group. I know that sounds weird, but that's what I meant. Getting into Mythic dungeons. I realize, okay, fine, I'm a DPS.
This is silly.
I understand. But I can't get, I'm getting denied. The group says, must be 325, need 1 DPS. I apply, and then it just sits there, and then eventually declined. I'm like, I'm 342. This dungeon, clearly, I don't need. It's just there's a couple pieces of gear in here that would be good.
Yep.
And if I got gear, and if someone was in... If you're in the looking for group tool, and you have someone, a paladin wants to join, because I play a rep paladin still.
Yep.
Well, we've already got a rep paladin, but he outgears you. You know what that means? If he gets a drop, he might give it to you.
That's a good thing. I would think that's a good thing.
I mean, I did manage to pug King's Rest the other day. And that was a decent group once we got going. It took a little bit because we were missing a healer or a tank. I think it was a healer. The tank wanted to do a couple achievements. We got one of them. The group screwed up the other one. You know, it happens.
Yeah.
But it was...
Did they correctly blame you for the loss?
No, because my bubble didn't go off, so... No, it wasn't a... It was, the last boss, the dinosaurs had to, like... at the corners. And
Sure.
because I was melee, I didn't have to worry about it. It was the healer and the range that had to deal with it. They just didn't jump properly. So it wasn't anyone did anything wrong. It was just, you know, positioning. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, Mythic Dungeons, if you can get in them, if you got a big group guild, great. Use your guild. But if you're trying to pug, Jesus, you need like... Please have item level 390 and achievement of Mythic Gahoon, or you can't join. I'm like, raid's not even out yet. Shut up. But for DPS, it's hard getting into group because I'm seeing like, you go into the looking for group, you might see a bunch of with one tank or with one healer, and the rest are all 3 DPS and looking for both. And then I'll scroll over and see how long they've been in there, and it's like hour and a half, 2 hours. Like it's freaking trade chat all over again before looking for group happened.
Well, it's sort of frustrating because you could have done 3 runs by then.
Well, I understand because it's so early in the expansion. You're going to have less tanks. You're going to have less healers. And that's just how it is. So I understand that part of it, but people are just denying left and right because of whatever reason. Apparently 342 is not geared enough for a Mythic Dungeon that you get 340 gear out of.
Perhaps your reputation precedes you.
That is also possible. If we get him in here, if he could bubble and break the fight, and we'll have to start over again.
Oh, well, I am excited because just around the corner, some new and interesting things are coming up.
Yep. We got a raid coming up soon. Tuesday.
Mythic Pluses knocking on the door.
Yep. No word yet on Warfronts. Still. We do know the first one's over in Arathi, and it will be held by the Horde on launch. But outside of that, we don't know nothing about it. World Bosses will open up Tuesday.
You know, I've been looking forward to that one in particular, honestly, because if you're out doing the World Quests, I feel like the World Boss experience has been one of the more pivotal features of the World Quest. You know, you're going around, and that in particular always holds my interest.
We don't know which one it's going to be. I know there was a quest pop the other week, but
God, I hope it's not like a Withered Gym, though, where there's like one item for every single class off of the World Bosses that you have to have, and I never got.
Yeah. I mean, I got one out of the Crucible.
Sure, the Crucible.
But it was so low compared to the rest, I couldn't use it.
Right.
And it was on an alt on top of that, which made it even weirder. Like, it was the lowest level, and I simmed it, and it just wasn't worth it. Because I had the best in slot trinkets for my level of what I was doing. I was like, yeah. But anyway, yeah, we got a new raid coming out. Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, dear.
Let's see. We've got...
And is this our tonight's special feature segment?
Yeah, we're not going to go through all the strategies and stuff like that because it's just going to be
overkill.
That's overkill. Other places are going to do it better than us.
True that.
Yeah. So the first boss is, I'm going to call it Talek.
Yep.
So big old robot. Yeah, it's a big old robot. 3 phases. You know, spread stack.
Juggernaut style. It looks like it's going to be a really big, giant.
Yeah, it's a big old robot. For those of you who have leveled in Horde side, it's the giant robot that you end up knocking down on top of the tower. Sorry for the spoiler, but it's been a couple weeks. I think it's okay.
Damn it! I haven't played my Horde tune yet.
Next up is the Mother.
So this looks like it's a troll shaman. One of that from the style of the temple. What's the temple again? Like Atto something.
Yeah, it's the temple from over there. Yeah.
Yep. So it looks like a priestess mother, like a troll shamaness.
Yeah, it looks like you're gonna be splitting into groups, different rooms, that kind of thing. The closest thing I could think of, without actually have been doing the fight, and I haven't looked at any videos yet, so I'm just going by like this little page of strategy I've seen.
Right.
Do you remember Uldir in Uldir, where you had to have two groups, one in the arena and one for the tunnel?
Oh, it's been a while.
Okay.
I know I've done it, but
Yeah.
I don't think that's one I did a lot of hours.
That's the closest thing I could think of, except for you're not going to start with two full groups. You're going to start with like a tank, a healer, and a DPS, maybe a fourth. And then you're just going to start sending more and more people over there as you need to.
Gotcha.
Nax Kramus, what was that boss that had the two sides?
You're talking about the electrical one or the Four Horsemen?
It was the undead side.
Yeah, Four Horsemen.
No.
So you had to be on different sides of the room?
It was before them. It was undead. It doesn't matter. Either way, you're going to have two. You're going to end up with two groups, and eventually you're all going to be in the second room. It's because as more and more time, people are going to be going over there. That's what it looks like. And then there's a split. You have 3 bosses you can pick from that you have to defeat all 3 before you can go on.
Fluffy is one of them. Okay,
we got Fluffy. It's the 3-headed dog.
I'm glad you got the reference.
Yeah. Chimeron from Blackwing Descent.
Yep.
Slightly different. Obviously, it's going to have different mechanics, but to get a flavor of what it looks like. But yeah, Fluffy from Harry Potter.
And one of the interesting things is that in the first couple of bosses, I don't want to get into strategy, but tanks, there's not a whole lot of second tank usage in some of these fights so far.
There's second tank stuff, like add tanks, but from what I'm seeing, there's not a whole lot of taunt mechanics that you have to. It's like one tank gets to tank the boss, one tank gets to tank the ads. So, it is what it is.
Well, I just find that to be something different so far.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure tanks will have other things they're going to have to worry about. Kiting and stuff. We got a giant Zerg. Zekvox.
Even sounds like maybe like someone tried to put a Zerg name on it.
Yep. Debuffs, run away. Seems to be a theme here. If you get a debuff, run away.
I like it.
Yep.
It's not so much don't stand in stuff as run away.
Yep. So turn that DBM on. Have big bad wolf. Have the big bad wolf run away, little girl. That don't need to be there. And then we got a nice little. I don't know what he is, but he's Vectus.
So, yeah, it looks like perhaps a blood elemental.
Kinda.
Could be. It looks like it's an elemental style, like a Zul Harak or a one of the big flame guys, except definitely not flame, unless it's a super bloody red flame.
I mean, it would make sense because we're fighting blood trolls.
Yeah.
So it would make sense that it would be like a blood elemental, although that seems weird. Blood is an element. But, it is what it is. It's a boss.
The trolls are probably like, we're not summoning no regular elementals.
Yeah.
We be blood trolls. So just blood elemental.
Mm-hmm. And then we got Zul, not from Heroes.
What about Mithrax?
Well, he comes after Zul, actually.
Really?
Yeah. It's just out of order on that page. Zul is a troll, only he's undead.
Well, there is the thing about that fight is there is no Dana.
There is only Zool.
Correct.
Yeah. They need to put an ad just somewhere off to the side, just the word Dana. That would be amazing just for that joke alone.
So, like Dana, you see sleeping 5 feet above her pallet, like off to the side.
Yeah. To some troll named Dana off to the side somewhere, like that's a sacrifice. That would be amazing. He's an undead troll. You got lots of ads from the looks of it. You got some taunt swaps from them. There's some mind controls. So, yeah, that'll be entertaining, I think. Mithrax, which is the giant crab monster.
So kind of like a crab beholder, or a crab that's been mind controlled by Squidward. If
you did Dragon Soul, and you did some of those little side bosses that you had the ugly things, it's a giant one of them. And when I say giant, I mean it's huge. In the cinematic, in the game, it is bloody huge.
Reminds me of the mindless ones from the Marvel or the Marvel universe kind of thing, but with tentacles.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're looking at 8-bit graphic pictures here on this. If you're looking at the same thing I am.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, but yeah, if you play the Horde side, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's that giant faceless one crab dude.
Yep.
He's the reason why we're here. Well, kind of. And then you have the quote-unquote old god Gahoon. And for those of you who are listening only, I did air quotes with my fingers. Mobile classes are going to be the way to go here. Warlocks, mages.
Huntards.
Yep. Anything with an immunity. Looks like it'll be good. But mostly mobile classes. And he's a giant slug with a big old belly.
The belly is like, I would have to say, looks like it opens up and eats you maybe, or...
I would imagine he eats someone at some point. Like I said, I haven't gone in and looked at the stretch yet. That'll be that's my own personal homework for the weekend. Looking up like Fat Boss and stuff like that, looking up their videos.
Right.
So that'll be my homework.
It looks like exciting times at Ridgemont High.
Well, I mean, as long as they're not fast times, because that's copyrighted.
Exactly.
But yeah, so got the raid there. I'm really hoping Zool, when he dies, he asks if you're a god. Thank you for that joke, Alessander. I totally stole it.
Yes. That would be phenomenal. That has to be like that entire fight should just have all the Easter eggs.
Not all of them, but it should have a few. Like there should be a troll Dana flying in the air sideways.
Like little ads that look like Stay Puft Marshmallow Men.
I don't know if I'd go that far because that's cutting it a little too cheesy.
What?
I wouldn't mind to see the dogs.
Gotcha.
I'd be okay with that.
Maybe near Dana in the corner, a couple of dogs.
Yeah. I'd be okay with that. Chat room has a question for us. With the Warfronts coming, do we have any urge to play some Warcraft 3? No. Only because I have internet, and that is my when I don't have internet game.
I would say always there's the urge, but it falls on the list of what are my priority plays this week, and I can't. So
yeah,
like I can't wait to get back to playing more Hearthstone because I've been spending, instead of Hearthstone on my lunch break, I've been coming home to play catch up for raid prep.
Okay.
So yeah.
So here on a phone, I've got my little phone here. Got the WoW Companion app.
Yes, I do have that.
So you can do your missions.
I do those on breaks at work.
Yeah, I will need to get back into that because I know my paladin. I'm not going to do it while I'm on the show, so I'll just log in after and do it for real. My missions have popped not too long ago, within the last 10 minutes. The one thing I will say is it does not tell you. You have to actually know. So it doesn't give you any indicator on the app.
Yeah, and there's no sound either.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the no sound.
It used to have the very rewarding, noises when you...
I never cared for them. I always turn the sound off anyway. My phone is almost always on mute because reasons. It's easier to ignore. But yeah, you got the companion app, so you can do your missions. You can check out the world quest, see if there's any that you're like, oh, I must do that first. That's actually how I found a cloak. I think it was a cloak. It was like a 330 that proc 340 cloak. It was like
nice.
It was haste crit. I was like, yes, please. Those are my two best stats. Yes, I would love that.
It's the most popular stat combo available in the auction house.
Well, that's because it's the most popular combo of people wanting it. For the most part, haste is almost always number one for overall. So yeah, I should make some more rings, some haste rings.
Definitely, if you can.
I can make the rings. That's not an issue. I have plenty of gems and ore.
I was going to say, isn't it random what they proc, or are they specific these days?
All right, so in terms of the rings, which gem you use, will determine one of the stats.
Right.
The second stat is random. So I could use, in this case, Owl's Eye and make haste rings. Whatever the second stat is unknown. Will it proc to be 310 instead is unknown. That's the only issue, is they're 310, and at this point, 310 is not really worth anything except for alts.
Right. And not that much for alts either.
Yeah, it's
flooded market at this point.
Yeah, so that's why I stopped making them. I did get the Dark Moon deck this week. That was good fun. I mentioned that. I don't know if I mentioned it on the show.
How's it feel?
I'm seeing a lot of little anchors falling. So that's nice. I'm not sure exactly how much more powerful I am with it than without it. But I'll use it. I mentioned that shield. The BOE shield world drop.
I saw that. I saw your note.
I tried to sell it. It wouldn't sell.
No luck.
So, whatever. And then someone in guild was like, hey, I found this sword. And it was BOE. I was like, I'll trade you that 350 weapon for a shield. It was a two-handed axe. I think it was it's a two-handed weapon. I can use it. I haven't equipped it yet.
So you might sell it yet.
Well, yeah. I'm debating. Yeah, it's a weapon. It's a little bit better than what I got. The stats are way better, so it is a much better weapon. But I'm hoping to run King's Rest Mythic on Tuesday to get that weapon, because it is still, even base level, it is better than everything else that is 355 or lower.
Okay.
So that's why I haven't equipped it, because I'm hoping for that other weapon. And if I get it, then I will absolutely sell it. And if not, then I might, depending on how raid goes. Because weapons are not easy to come by this expansion.
Not at all.
I mean, they've never been super like, oh my god, weapon, with the exception of Legion, where you got your weapon like right away.
Speaking of memes, it was like the battle for decent GD weapon.
Yeah. Yeah. So no one's getting weapon drops. I mean, some people are, obviously, but they're not common. Which makes sense, but at the same time,
it's bordering on the impossible to find.
If you're a melee character, your weapon is your damage. If you have a crap weapon, you have crap damage. It doesn't matter what your gear is.
And for hunters.
Fine.
But I got lucky. I just got a mythic Warforged gun off of Tol Barad. So.
I have a 345, same thing, mythic Warforged, but it's my two worst stats. I think it's like Verse Mastery. So I do have a half decent weapon. I'm not going to complain too much. But if I could
some
get
people
one
can't
with,
even get that.
yeah, I got lucky. I'm not going to complain. But if I could get one with haste on it, it
That'd
wouldn't
be better.
matter what the other stat would be, as long as it was a decent amount of haste. So much better, and I'd be like, yes. And as an update, I did find out, yes, they nerfed the Azurite trait that I got up to like that 100 and something haste.
Oh, come
It did
on.
get stealth nerfed, which
It needed
is
to be.
sad, but
It's necessary.
it was
And amazing.
necessary. It was great. It was great the one day it lasted.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was bugged, so they fixed the bug.
Still entertainment.
I got a screenshot at I think it was 104% haste. I was happy with that, and then obviously it ran out. But
That's good though.
yeah, it's still
They
one of my better.
They needed to fix that.
Yeah, it's still one of my better traits, so I can't complain too much. But with that, I believe that would be a show because it's about an hour 15. So yeah.
Yeah.
We covered all the news. We never did talk about the Q&A that they did last week, but I mean,
it's a huge number of finite details.
Yeah,
go read the Q&A.
Yeah, go to Wowhead, read the Q&A. Go to MMO Champion, read the Q&A. Just depends on which color scheme you like better. Or even better, watch it over on Twitch or YouTube. It's up on YouTube now. It's even better. You can actually hear Laura say, "Sounds good."
You can hear him nodding his head because
Yeah.
the Jerry curls.
Well, he had a hat on this time, so.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, so we will be back next week. Gal, have you any shout-outs or ways that people can get a hold of you?
I do have a shout out. For me, this has been my case. Love him, hate him, respect him, be pissed off by him over the years. But Senator John McCain laid to rest in state today. If you've never heard the story of his life or where he got where he was or what he did for the country and the USA, the guy was an honest to goodness American hero. And there's some other stuff that happened too, and you can always disagree with him, but there's a reason that this guy got laid to rest in state, as opposed to even some former presidents don't get that honor all the time. But at least I don't think so. It's a big deal. Senators don't get laid to rest in state like that. So to him and his family and anyone who does that for people, that's my shout out. You can find me at Galvanet Online on Twitter and on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Galvanet. And I should be returning to my regular streaming schedule when Raid opens. Right now, it's just been a frantic catch up, so I haven't been doing very much. So, yeah. All
right. I had a shout out, but I'm not going to mention it because I can't compete with that one. I don't. We don't. We normally try to stay not political whatsoever, and I don't always agree with his opinions, but he was respect worthy. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
So I will just keep my shout out to myself because it was kind of just a silly thing. In terms of getting a hold of me, at Draven Dresden over on Twitter. As long as you're polite, feel free to send something. Yeah, there's that. Stuff I got to mention, Patreon. Make sure I get it all right. Patreon.com/podcast-epic-fail. If you want to send the show $1 a month, you don't have to, but it'll be always is appreciated. $1, $2, $5, $100. Why I don't know you would want. I don't know why you'd want to, but it's there if you want to. I think.
Keep Draven off the sauce.
Help me. It'll always be appreciated. You always get a thank you from me in particular, and it always helps out way more than you'll ever know. Someday I'll go into the story as to why, but until then, it's the reason. It's the major reason why we can still do the show. A lot of other shows say that. They mean it. It helps a lot. As for anything else, Discord, bit.ly/epicfail Discord. Come on over, say hi. We'd love to have some more faces, some conversation. Just don't try to use the text-to-speech thing because I disabled it because...
What?
There's a reason I disabled it because someone did it during a show one time and we had to mute everything.
Oh.
Because some people are just not nice. The music that we use for the beginning of the show, the actual intro music, you can find that over at bensound.com. We are able to use it because it is licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. AKA, give them credit, use it for free. They've got tons of cool stuff over there. Most of it's free. Some of it you have to pay for. But most of it's free. It's all really good, depending on what you want, mood-wise. So, there's that. One last thing I want to plug is not in the notes or anything like that. I'm looking for a D&D group because I want to do that more. And sadly, the game I was in stopped for various reasons that I'm not going to get into. But it no longer exists, and I really want to do that because it was fun when I had it, and it's been one of those things I've always wanted to try, and I was having a blast.
I got all positive things to say about those things.
Yeah, it stopped.
You just have to have the time.
Yeah. So if you are in a group and you have room for a semi-newish person, aka I have less than 100 hours playtime. But I did a lot of research. I've probably done more research than most people who have played 3 times as long. Or more. I have multiple characters I can re-roll. It's fine. I have tons of ideas. But anyway, besides the point. If you have room, feel free to contact me at Draven Dresden over on Twitter. Let me know what kind of world it is, that kind of thing. That's all I really care. I want to know the kind of world I'm getting into. That way I know what I can and can't get away with, basically. I have my brain has not...
Power level or exploiter.
No, that's not what I mean.
Extraordinaire.
That's not what I... Like, if magic is illegal, I'm not going to pick a magic user. That kind of thing.
What?
There are worlds out there like that. So, hit me up if you've got room or if you want to start a game or something like that. I've got finger on a couple possible games, but nothing is set in stone yet. And yeah, we did have a good group, but they were... well, I'm answering chat room now. Well, I'll answer it after the show.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
appreciate that.
Hit me up if you've got room or you're going to put a game together. It'd be great. I'm flexible on most days. I put out a tweet earlier, but I could probably make a couple other days work, depending on times. So that will be a show. Before I ramble on and on and on more than normal. So, Galv.
Yes.
Do you have any last words for the show?
Be good to each other. Do good.